most successful one-make series in the world comes to Mallory Park following the Thundersport Championship. It's the final round. This is GP Racing Dream.
The Aprilia 125 Championship. We have already got a champion for this season, but we should be in for some great racing nonetheless. A bit foggy here this morning, 2 races to bring you, and as I mentioned, we already have a champion, Lewis Rollo, and before the racing kicked off, I managed to catch up with him in the Aprilia garage to find out what's going on for next year.
Lewis Rollo, the Aprilia Superteens champion. It's been a remarkable year for you in the series so far. Been on the podium pretty much every single round. Just sum up how you feel.
Well, we started off the year at Brands and I got the 4 wins. And we were like, God, we could have the chance at the title, and then everything's just been going right. The bikes have been reliable and they've not broke down once this year. And we just hope we can do the same next year on the 450.
Yes, the winner of the championship this year, of course, wins the ride on the 450 for next year. It's a great, great championship, and you've joined a trophy list of names who have won the Superteen Championship. Casey Stoner, Cal Crutchlow. The 450 Championship, there's only one person that's ever won the 125s and a 450s, James Folcar, but nobody's ever done it back-to-back. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's a challenge, but no one had ever won as much races as me as I have this year, so we've got maybe a good chance for next year.
Well done to you this year. It's been great to watch your incredible season, and we'll look out for you in 2013.
Thank you.
Yes, it really has been some year for young Lewis Rollo, the 13-year-old. Hard to believe he's only 13. Speaks so wisely, doesn't he? But nevertheless, we still have racing to get on with. Slightly damp conditions here for this race. There is the champion, Lewis Rollo, number 8. Pole position, actually, to number 67, Gideon Thomas. There is Ross Simpson, 3rd on the grid. Ross having a good year, 4th in the championship so far. And there's Brad Peary. And Brad is looking to wrap up the Nitro Newcomer Championship. And that is a series for complete newcomers to road racing altogether in the championship this year. You can barely see the entire field because of the fog here. And they get away from the line. And it looks as though number 97 has got off to a decent start, Bradley Peary, but it's actually going to be Simpson, number 95, that gets into turn 1 in the lead. Such has been Lewis Rollo's dominance of the championship so far. He's already got over the 700-point barrier for 2012, but he's racing completely relaxed now. He was good when the pressure was on him. Heaven knows what he's going to be like now. And he takes the lead as they go into Edwinas ahead of Bradley Peary. And we've lost a rider already. In fact, we've lost a few. There's 2 or 3 riders, 4 riders now. It's like a car park at Edwinas. Now, one of them is Bradley Peary. We've lost Sam Smith. Is Milo Ward one of those as well? And maybe Jordan Boyle. A number of riders going down there. Ross Simpson is another one. So 2 or 3 riders from the leading bunch have gone down. Lewis Rollo is completely oblivious to this, and we've lost another one now into the bus stop. Another rider has gone down. Is that... Oh, it's difficult to say who that is. I can't quite see from that angle. Look at the lead that Lewis Rollo has got, courtesy of all of those riders falling. A huge advantage over Gideon Thomas now. Well, what a start to the race it was, and Lewis Rollo, he certainly made the right decision. He got to the front around Gerrard's, and had he been a couple of places further back, he might have just been involved in that incident. As it is, his lead is enormous. He's already into Edwinas. Gideon Thomas is in 2nd as the aftermath of that Edwinas turn incident is being cleared up still. There is number 88, Lewis Good. Lewis is having a good race here, and thanks to a couple of those riders falling down, he has got himself a decent chance of a podium as he comes up alongside number 58, Cameron Lee, and Cameron chattering the front end as he goes into the hairpin there. Number 58, Cameron Lee from Colville on the Motrack Racing Aprilia, teammate to Milo Ward, and the Motrack Racing Aprilia setup, of course, champions last year with Joe Francis, and Joe Francis is actually on pit wall watching this one, and he's grown by about 1.5 feet since the last time I saw him, doing very well in the British Championship. Further back, we just see a glimpse there of 101, Curtis Drew having a good time. Joe Sheldon Shaw is up into the top 8 with Alex Platt for company, and Sam Wilford also doing well. Daniel Drayton and Joey Thompson in the top 10. This on circuit you're looking at now is a good battle though for second and third. That's Gideon Thomas and Cameron Lee. Both of these riders were here at Mallory Park just a month or so ago for the Ben Gautry Foundation day. We had a good tuition day with Steve Brogan coming along to just teach the riders basically a bit of everything. How to ride, how to be on circuit, off circuit, and that was courtesy of the Ben Gautry Foundation. And 4th place there, number 88, Lewis Good. Well, that's a nice coloured motorcycle racing helmet he's got on there. Easy to spot. See also George Stanley starting off the race a bit further back than we're used to seeing him, but he's certainly on the pace in terms of lap times. And despite the bad conditions here, we're not a million miles off lap record pace here at Mallory Park. Lewis Rollo, however, we're not really getting much chance to see him. We spoke to him at the top of the show, a great young rider. And as I mentioned, the winners of this championship, of course, getting the free ride into the Aprilia 450 Championship for next year. That Aprilia Championship you can see here on Motors TV on GP Racing Dream, The Next Step. And if you're watching this for the first time, it's on pretty much a week after this showing, but you'll be able to see lots of repeats. Second and third place men, Cameron Lee and Gideon Thomas, go into Shaw's Hairpin and now into the bus stop. Of course, with a number of riders having fallen, it does give people like Lewis Good, number 88 in the background there, a chance of a podium. And all of these riders improving all the time. And as people like Lewis Rollo here move into the 450 class, it means that the dangling carrot of the 450 ride for 2014 will be there for the champion of next season. And it could be any one of these riders that are moving up through the ranks. It could be a complete newcomer that comes into the championship, and we've already got a number of entries coming into this championship, and those interested, visit apriliachallenge.net. You'll find out all the entry details on there. There is the champion though, Lewis Rollo. He is away with this one. He's lapping a good second or so quicker than anybody else at the moment. And that there is number 15, Reese Wilkes, younger brother of Kyle Wilkes, who's come up through the ranks and is just getting to grips here with Mallory Park. But Lewis Rollo, there is no stopping him. Really will be interesting to see how he gets on the 450 next year. He has been so dominant in 125 championship racing this year that he's really going to come up against it next year. That 450 championship is uber competitive, as you'll be able to see. If you've watched it, you'll know. And will really be fascinating to see how Lewis Rollo gets on. Can he be the first person to do back-to-back championships, or am I maybe thinking a bit too much of him? We will wait and see, but you'll have to join us in 2013 just to see if that happens. Lewis Rollo here, he has a good 9 or 10 second lead over the battle for second place between Gideon Thomas and Cameron Lee. Cameron Lee, I should just mention, not a regular on the podium at all. This is a really good effort from him, and here he is up into second place now, as they come around the John Cooper S's and up towards Shaw's Hairpin. You have to think that Gideon Thomas is going to have a look here, and he does. They're side by side into Shaw's Hairpin. This, the battle for second place. They're both going in pretty hot. Oh, and that's Gideon Thomas down, and Cameron Lee so unlucky. He's run straight into the bike. And, well, they're going to have a bit of a cuddle and a kiss there, but they're both very angry. Of course, that means they've lost the chance of a podium. Lewis Rollo wins this one by a country mile. And he's going to get into Edwina's before we even see second place. That means George Stanley and Lewis Good might get themselves a podium. And it's actually going to be George Stanley that takes second ahead of Lewis Good, a newcomer. Good to have Lewis up on the podium. Wonderful stuff. Zach Corduroy inherits fourth ahead of Curtis Drew, Joe Sheldon Shaw, and Alex Platt seventh ahead of Wilford, Drayton and Thompson. And there is the champion, Lewis Rollo, George Stanley on the left, and Lewis Good on the right. And of the newcomers, you can see there, Lewis Good takes the win ahead of Zach Corduroy, and a welcome to the podium for Daniel Drayton.
Third position in the Nitro newcomers and first time on the podium, Daniel Drayton. This must feel amazing for you.
Yeah, it was an amazing race. I'd just like to thank all my sponsors, Pewterline, Wiz, and I'd like to thank my mum and dad for getting me here. It's been amazing. I'd like to thank Aprilia, Dunlop and Thundersport as well. It's been an amazing day.
Thank you, Daniel. We hope to see you on the podium again. And second position in the Nitro Newcomers goes to Zach Corduroy. You must be pleased with this.
Yeah, it was a brilliant race. Just a shame I couldn't catch him on the line on that last lap.
It was a tough race. Were the conditions quite tricky?
Yeah, especially coming through Gerrard. There's a few damp spots, so it's quite slippery, yeah.
Excellent. And any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank my mum and dad, my brother, and Dunlop, Aprilia and Thundersport. Thank you.
Thank you. And third position overall in the Aprilia Superteens, but first in the Nitro Newcomers goes to Lewis Good. This must be brilliant for you, 2 trophies in your hand.
Yeah, I didn't really expect it at all. I got a bad start, but there was an incident going into Edwina's. I don't know who fell off, I think it was Ross Simpson, that's what I saw. But yeah, I was staying behind Gideon and Cameron Lee for loads of the race. They fell off going into the hairpin, don't know what it was called, but yeah, happy with it. But then George put me on the line.
And any sponsors you would like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Chris, Paul, Priory Events, Thundersport, In Competition, Dunlop, and my dad, my mum, my sister, Madeline. That's it.
Brilliant race, well done. And second position overall in the Aprilia Superteens goes to George Stanley. A good, solid position for you there.
Yeah, it was a good race, but unfortunately, like 4 people crashed, and but luckily for me, I got second place, beating Lewis Goody to the line, and Bradley Peary crashed, and that's given me like second place pretty much in the bag. So pretty nice race there.
Brilliant. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Gem Drive Logistics, my mum, my dad, my sister, my grandma, and my mum's cousin for coming and supporting me. And I'd like to dedicate this race to my mum's cousin Roger.
Brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
And first position in the Aprilia Superteens and championship winner Lewis Rollo. A storming lead for you there yet again.
Well, we went out on wets, and at the start it was wet, but then towards the end there was a dry line, and my tyres kind of got goosed and they were wrecked, but I just kept the lead up and got a win, so it's good.
Well done. Have you got any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my family, my friends, my auntie for making the sandwiches, Al McIntosh for helping, Steve Jones for coming down, Mike for building my engines, Dunlop, Thundersport and Aprilia.
Well, another trophy, another win for Lewis Rollo. Race 2 will be coming up after the break. Welcome back to Mallory Park. It's GP Racing Dream, the Aprilia Superteens, the final race of 2012. Gideon Thomas there, number 67, will be looking for revenge, no doubt. I'm not sure who on, after making that mistake in race 1, trying to get himself on the podium. Champion there, Lewis Rollo, number 8. And then 4th on the grid there, number 97, Brad Peary. Now, with him and Ross Simpson both going down at Edwina's in race 1, it means that it's coming down to this race for the Nitro Newcomer Championship. Who will be crowned the newcomer of 2012? Well, if Peary wins it, he will have it in the bag. As George Stanley said in his interview after that first race, number 5, George's, second place almost in the bag here, but Ross Simpson doesn't seem to have made it onto the grid. So Brad Peary, you would think, has only got to finish this race, and the championship is his in the newcomers. But overall, there's no stopping Lewis Rollo, and can he get himself up to the front again as they circle Gerrard's? There is Lewis Rollo in second place, just going over to the right of your screen. It's actually Peary that leads, number 97, into Edwina's. Will they all make it through this time? Certainly, if we want a better race at the front, we should hope they all do, and it looks like that's much more tidy from the 12 to 18-year-olds. Heading around Edwina's chicane, further back there, number 15 and number 93. It's William Holland, 93, and number 15, Reese Wilkes. And oh my, as they come down into the hairpin there, some late braking from Lewis Good, but it's number 8 that leads once again, getting out into the front. It is the champion Lewis Rollo. Never before have I seen a rider win so many races in a season. There's 303, Aidan Walker. And here we go now into turn 1. There's Cameron Lee, of course, so unlucky in that last race not to pick up that podium. Running into Gideon Thomas, and that was the end of his race. And unfortunately, the rules here at ThundersportGB state that if you lose contact with your motorcycle, you're not allowed to remount and finish. And Cameron certainly looked to have read the rule book because he didn't get back up. And Cameron, whew, chopping off the nose of Curtis Drew there. Curtis, a good addition to this championship, number 101. He'll be one to look out for next year when we start the championship up again at Brands Hatch in March 2013. Back to the front, Bradley Peary is actually giving this a good go. Number 97, the newcomer with the pink wheels, up against the champion, Lewis Rollo, who will no doubt want to end the year on a high with another win. In third place there, it's Sam Smith, number 111. Sam, who's been in the top 5 or 6 of the championship all year long, and he'll be looking to end the year on the podium, no doubt. Curtis Drew, certainly not necessarily a regular on the podium. He only entered the series from Cadwell onwards, so we'll just have to wait and see what we get with him. But Brad Peary, be interesting to see what he does here. He can't really, he'll want the win overall, but he knows that if he finishes this race, then he will be the Nitro Newcomer champion. He's up ahead of Sam Smith on circuit. I should just point out here, oh, and we've got a couple of riders that have fallen further behind there, and that looks like Lewis Good. That's certainly the bright yellow helmet of Lewis Good, and who else has gone down with him? It's Zach Corduroy. Zach Corduroy has just gone down. We spoke to Zach on the podium, and he's disgusted with that by the looks of things. He walks away. It's Lewis Rollo that leads from Brad Peary and Sam Smith as they come around the start-finish line. They're on some decent lap times here. Not particularly warm temperature-wise. It's very cloudy. You saw in race 1 the riders mentioning damp patches into Gerrard. Well, it's slightly drier now. They're only 3/10 off the Aprilia Superteen outright lap record, held by Callum Cooper, no less, who's just won the Aprilia 450 championship of 2012. So only 2 or 3/10 off. That's good going. Further back there, looks like number 15, Reece Wilkes, being lapped. And that's Curtis Drew coming up on him, and Cameron Lee as well, number 58. Cameron will be desperate to finish this race. There's number 5, George Stanley. It looks set to guarantee himself as the runner-up of 2012, and Peary probably going to be 3rd overall. But Sam Smith certainly doesn't look done with this yet, does he? Interesting bobble of the head on the exit of Devil's Elbow. Exit of the bus stop, sorry, there from Lewis Rollo. I wonder if there's just a couple of bumps on the exit. There comes Cameron Lee. He's got himself up ahead still of Curtis Drew. Curtis Drew might be new to this championship, but he's not an actual newcomer to racing, hence why he's not got an orange bib on, in case you're wondering. The last lap flag is out though, and Lewis Rollo should, I say should, just have enough in the bag here to win it, but it's certainly not been quite as easy as some of the races we've seen so far in 2012. But there's no doubting that he has been a worthy champion as he flies through the John Cooper S's, and it's his now to lose, as he's got a good second lead over Brad Peary and Sam Smith, and it's looking like now Brad Peary will be crowned the Nitro Newcomer champion, and that's probably deserved also. Out of Devil's Elbow, and it is another win for Lewis Rollo. What a champion, what a year. He wins the final race of 2012, and in second there, number 97, Brad Peary, wraps up the Nitro Newcomers Championship. The rider with the pink wheels, a good season for Brad also. 3rd place overall for Sam Smith, ahead of Drew, Cameron Lee, Gideon Thomas, George Stanley, Joe Sheldon Shaw, Milo Ward in 9th, and Alex Platt in 10th place. On the podium there, the Scottish flag flies high. Lewis Rollo, the champion, ahead of Brad Peary and Sam Smith. Confirmation of the standings then. Look at that. What a year it's been for Lewis Rollo, the championship. George Stanley does take 2nd, Brad Peary 3rd. And in the newcomers, the champion in the middle, Brad Peary. And on the left is Gideon Thomas, on the right, Kai Masters. Well done, Kai. And there is confirmation that Brad Peary is the champion from Ross Simpson. Gideon Thomas 3rd, ahead of Corduroy, Wheeler, Armstrong and William Keynes.
3rd position in the Nitro Newcomers goes to Kai Masters. First time on the podium. You must be really chuffed with the trophy.
Yeah, first time I can't even believe I've even got onto the podium. Just kind of shocked.
Can you tell us about the race? Was it close?
Yeah, I was having a fight against one of the other, who's not a Nitro newcomer, but it was I really struggled out there with tyres, grip and stuff like that.
Have you got any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Castleman Auto Repairs and my dad.
Well done. And second position goes to Gideon Thomas in the Nitro Newcomers. A good race for the air and a second position.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I had a good race. All I needed to do really to get third in the championship was finish the race like I haven't been doing this weekend. So I'm just lucky that I finished it, and I did finish well, I guess. I'd like to thank AMI Direct, Shark Helmets, my dad, Mark Hill, my mum for coming to support me this weekend, and just everyone that's helped me. It's been a really good season.
Third position overall in the Aprilia Superteens goes to Sam Smith. First podium today for you.
Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it a lot, but I had a lot of pain from my arm in the first race, but it's alright.
Was it a close race out there?
Yeah, it was very close. Brad did really well all the way. Lewis led it from the start, so it was really hard to sort of keep up, but you know, everyone got their position, so that was all good.
Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to make a big thank to John from JDF for letting me use his bike this weekend. And I'd also like to thank Uncle John for helping me out all the way through the year, and congratulations for him getting married.
Second position, but first in the Nitro Newcomers. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, because first race wasn't a good one. Didn't get a great start, so I thought, cool, I'll get into Edwina's, and I tucked it in and passed Ross, and I thought, I'm on it, I'm in second. And I just turned it in and then I took the front, and I thought I crashed my own, but then I got up and everyone's around me, so yeah, I'm glad to actually finish the race.
And you're a Nitro Newcomer champion. You must be very pleased with that.
Yeah, I know, because we wanted to be around that sort of area beginning of the year, but I'm happy to get where I was, because beginning of the year we sat down at the kitchen table and said, top 10, if we get there, we'll be happy. And then came out of Brands Hatch first meeting in 5th, and then Dunton, I got a win, so yeah, the champ's been very, very good this year.
Brilliant year for you. Have you got any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I always forget a load of them, so sorry if I do. Brian Gregg, Bob Jackson, Alan, Wayne Torres Roofing, Mike Ormond Signs, Brian Gregg, Mike Ormond Signs, yes, I said it already, Fungaffs, Mum and Dad, Thundersport, Dunlop, absolutely everybody, because sorry if I didn't forget you, but yeah, everybody.
Race winner yet again and Super Team champion Lewis Rollo. Another trophy in your hand.
Well, all year we've been consistent up the top 10, and our bike's been good to us. It's never broke down this year, and next year hopefully we can do the same on the 450.
Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank all my sponsors, family and friends, but a big thank to Alan McIntosh for helping me this year, working on my bikes, bringing me to the meetings, and just all his help.
Well, will Lewis Rollo follow in the footsteps of Casey Stoner and become the next world champion? And who will reign supreme next season? Join us again in 2013.